Reign's Game of Thrones is the newest addition to the Reign series, only this time we control the fate of Westeros. Game of Thrones is all the rage these days, with seemingly every other game being focused on the low fantasy world of Westeros. There are few game series more suited to adapting the show and books than Reign's, the classic game that gives you control of a series of rulers making decisions and trying to keep the powers behind your realm happy. Reign's is normally played by making a series of decisions based on random events from decks of predetermined cards. These decisions will either increase or decrease one or all of the four main factions behind your throne: the army, the church, people's love, and cold hard cash. This base gameplay still exists in Reign's Game of Thrones, only it has to change a bit to make sense of the story. In normal Reigns, the player controls the series of rulers through entire millennia, with the decisions and purchases and occult goings-on carrying on over in mystical, almost ghostly possession of souls. However, because Game of Thrones is an established universe with well-known characters, it wouldn't make any sense to do the same thing, but set the beginning few decisions in the realm of Westeros that we know. Instead, a ruler's reign is based on months instead of years. Additionally, if you die as a result of either too much or not enough appreciation in one of the four factions, your session will end, and you'll be able to choose one of the rulers you've already unlocked to try again. All of it's framed by Melisandre, the Red Witch, looking into the future and trying to determine the best possible course for the future of Westeros. Thus, you'll play as Daenerys, Tyrion, and even Sansa, eventually unlocking a further 6 characters to play through. Each time you fail, you essentially get a do-over, as you clearly didn't take the right choices. There is an element of luck within your game, as you simply might not get the events at the right time or in the right life, so you might find yourself repeating the same things over and over again, desperately trying to accomplish the missions that are set for you in between lives. However, because the missions are quite clearly set, it is difficult to misinterpret them, so once you finally get the event, it becomes quite clear what you need to do. Reign's Game of Thrones is an interesting type of Reign's game, as it takes a long-running series of established mechanics, yet changes them just enough to fit into the new adopted world of Westeros and the Game of Thrones mythos. It even does quite good in-depth knowledge of the books, as well as readers' probable interpretations of events after the books. As an adaptation of Game of Thrones, and carrying on the story, Reign's Game of Thrones does extremely well. As a Reign's game, it's pretty good, but the forced story of Game of Thrones world somewhat limits its potential in comparison to other installments in the Reign series.